You're listening to Radio Connections with Pace, where it all comes together with your host, Gina Pagnata Murphy and Ebony Walton.
Well, top of the day to y'all. We sure missed y'all. We were gone a week, right?
1 week.
For the holiday. Really missed y'all. So we're back.
We're back.
And
Welcome.
Today is July 12th, and you are online with Radio Connections with Pace, where it all comes together. And today is Truthful Tuesday. I'm your host, Gina Pagnata Murphy, president of Pace.
And I'm your co-host, Ebony Walton, vice president of Pace. And this show is for City of Atlanta employees, whether new or seasoned, classified or non, on-site or teleworkers. This platform was created to bring awareness to all things in the city, whether good or bad, in hopes to find a resolve. So
let's talk about it. Well, how was you all's week? How was your week? Oh, I always start off wrong, don't I? They never do it right, producers. Anyway, it's my fault this time. I'm going to give a disclaimer. As you saw in the front of our podcast, we always give a disclaimer. The views and opinions that's been said on this podcast is not necessarily the views and opinions of the City of Atlanta or our national origin of our PACE union, but our local, but what we consider views and opinions, and we would say allegedly or factually.
That's correct.
Did I cover it all?
You did.
Because we don't have no money to be sued, so.
Not at all.
Yeah. Anyway, how was your week?
It was pretty good. I was busy a lot last week, and now I got some stuff going on right now, so kind of like an on-call situation, I guess you can call it that. But,
oh, wow.
You know, it is what it is. Life happens.
Yeah, well, I hope all goes well.
It will.
Okay.
It should.
All right.
How was your week? I'm sorry. How was your week? How was your week?
I'm just waiting.
I was clicking on something. How was your week?
Oh, well, you know, it was pretty decent. You know, I'm up and down, but I had more ups and downs because you're saying I'm hyper. But I think it contributes to my doctor at the VA said I needed some B12. I needed some vitamin D and vitamin C. So I've been on that regimen. And boy, I'm like,
hyper.
Like I really need that, right?
She's hyper.
But I got a little bit more energy since I've been on that regimen.
Yeah.
I'm hyped.
You came in the door. She hadn't stopped talking.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, so I'm back. Anyway, so what's the movie of the week, Miss Evie?
The movie of the week is Morbius. I don't know if you saw Morbius or not, but
I think I did, but I'm going to see it again.
It is really good. It's about it's Marvel, I think it is, but I saw it off of Amazon Prime. I think it's Marvel, whoever makes Spider-Man, I believe. But it's like he had some type of blood disorder. He's a scientist or a doctor. He had a blood disorder. And it had something to do with vampires. And another person got involved. It was good. I don't want to say
vampires.
He turns into a vampire. You
know what? I gotta be honest, right? I know vampires they're not good things, but back in the day, the vampire movie, they had some sexy men playing them vampires. I used to want to be bitten.
Remember he played?
I used to want to be bitten. Come back.
Brad Pitt played.
Oh my God, I saw that. That was like, I mean,
but vampires, they kind of like even the Blackula. And
I saw that.
Remember?
Yeah.
They kind of mesmerize the women, and then they just get them
sexy. Something about them.
Okay, we don't want to take the show there.
Oh, okay. Well, we're not going there. But anyway,
we're trying to keep it PG.
Okay. Vampires. Yeah. I'll probably freak out when one come in my window. Lord Jesus, I'll be praying.
No, you won't.
Because they had me under this spell.
You'll be under the spell. You won't freak out.
I want to be the queen.
You'll be laying down there with the blanket and the sheer curtain just gonna move a little bit. You gonna open your eye halfway.
No, see, I got that third eye. I got that third eye, so I can be like this. I still see you.
You gonna still see.
I see you. Anyway, get me there.
You gonna get real. Okay. So the inspirational moment. Go ahead. What is the scripture for today? We have a scripture.
Okay, it's a moment to be positive. And it's John 16, verse 33. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Interesting.
That's good.
Interesting.
That is good.
And before we move on, here's a question to ponder. Just curious. Don't want to do it. We're not political and we're not spiritual, but here's a question. All you chattlers out there, I have a question. Me and my significant other, my husband, we had a discussion the other night. And he was telling me, and I was trying to understand, were there other beings before Adam and Eve?
No. Because from biblical standpoint, I used to do Bible studies back in the day, believe it or not. And when you read in the beginning, he created the heavens and the earth first, right? No beings was there, just the heaven and the earth. Then on the seventh day, after he done everything else, the sixth day, that's when he created man.
But in the days of the 7 days that we know, that's not 7 days.
I know.
Of
course, it's not. It's thousands and thousands. Yes, it is.
So that was kind of the discussion I was having, because I've always been trained or indoctrinated to know that Adam and Eve was the first human beings. But I've been showing some stuff in the Bible where I'm starting to ponder, were they actually the one and only human? I mean, well, in the likeness of him, but
from all I can go back from what I've read and from what I've been reading, when Genesis started, there was no other beings outside of the angelic beings with him and the angels and all of that, right? And so then when he created flesh and breathed into them, that's when man was created. And I don't know how many years that was before the heavens was just the water, because remember, it was just the earth, and then it was the water, then he separated it from the water to the dry land, and then the dinosaurs. Now my thing has always been, because when they say the snake is now on its stomach, it used to not be, so it used to look like a dinosaur or something. I don't know.
That's interesting. I just want to know if you all have anything. We're not trying to get spiritual on you.
No,
it's just one of those curious moments.
Now I have one then, since you brought that up.
Okay, go ahead.
Now this I don't smoke weed or anything. It's just something I was thinking about, real and deep thought, because I have a mind like that sometimes. But have you ever thought about when you say deja vu, right? When you have a moment where you either smell something that's familiar, or you see someone that reminded you of somebody that, or maybe you thought you knew this particular person. Do you know, and we would never know probably, but what you think about, maybe I was here before and it may be a different form or a different person. And then once that time was up for that particular identity that I had, now I have this one. And so when I do come around something that the previous one had before me, it's familiar.
Well, that's like the song Dionne Warwick used to sing.
What?
Deja vu, could you be the dream that I once knew? Is it true?
If she's talking about love, I'm talking about life. She always messes it up.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, because when I had those, like I said, I've been here before.
You said, yeah. But
That's
you will never know it, because if you died, that person is gone, and if he brought you back again, you will never know.
You won't know. Back and told us what it's like. No. But anyway,
that's something to think about.
That's something to think about.
That's something to think about.
So
now I'm gonna let you introduce this person, because you know.
Oh my goodness, what you talking about? Remember, we said some weeks ago that we were going to start entertaining any new artistry out there in the city or anywhere that would like for us to promote them per se on our podcast as a weekly gesture to help new artistries that are artists. And so we do. We're waiting on your poetry man though, but we do. I have one today. I would like to introduce you to a friend of mine who wrote a song, and it was released on July the 1st this year, 2022, right here in Atlanta.
Okay.
And we don't have the rights to the song, but she gave us permission. How about that? Because she's the writer, that we could play an excerpt of her song. And after this podcast, you guys go back out there and listen to the whole thing. I fell in love with it immediately.
It's nice.
And when I played it for Ebony, you was
it's
like,
something that I would listen to.
And then all of a sudden, when it got in, she's like, wait a minute, I like that.
Nice.
I thought of you right away.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's really
So
nice.
the name of the song is "Always Be Mine" by She had to put the way it's the way to say it. Con Pia. I hope I made the right choice of words. Con Pia. That is the person that is actually singing the song, but the artist that wrote the song is Layla Jackson.
And that's who you
That's
know.
who my friend. Yes.
So
let's listen to her. It was done on the south side of Atlanta, and it was recorded in Atlanta. So shout out Atlantans, and you can get this song. I'll tell you where to get it afterwards. So, hello, everybody.
hello, you guys.
Okay. Always Be Mine, written by Layla Jackson, sung by Con Pia. Pat came in. Oh my God. Show me what real love is like. Hold you tight. Always be mine. A love you can't deny. Stop acting so shy. Isn't that nice? I mean, I'm not being just biased because don't stop again. I'm not. No. A little bit more. Maybe. Oh, listen to that background. Oh my gosh.
This sounds like I heard it too. Or close enough.
And as it's playing, you can pick up this on the labels. The label is Spicy, and the collective available on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud. This is called "Always Be Mine," written by Layla Jackson, my friend, sung by Con Pia. It's a nice.
It's really nice.
Hey, let's give a shout out. Yay, Layla. Wonderful. I'm not about that. What y'all think? I love it. Because a singer for me, background. Oh my God.
That's
harmony.
Nice.
Oh, what?
It's
And do
nice.
anything. Once a song catch you, when I used to try to go in and audition, to get a record deal, before all of you can do it all yourself now. And if they don't catch the ear within that first few seconds, you're done. I mean,
that's the music that falls up under. It's like Angela Bassett that I've been telling you about. I don't know if you heard of her, but they're coming to East Point. They're going to be doing an outside concert. Then, Brian Knight is going to be at the Mabel House in Cobb County.
Oh yeah,
it puts you just mellow music. India Ari, stuff like that. Just mellow.
That
music.
song made when I first heard it, I said straight up. Because when it came to me, I'm like, okay, let me check this out. Because artists is always critical of each other. I said, let me check it out. I was laying on my bed. And so once that guitar kicked in, I said, oh, wait a minute. That first few seconds, I said, that's great.
It's so nice.
Great
you
song.
You can have your glass of
wine and then I got to be by water. I got to be by some water.
Wonderful.
Had that in my earbud and just sitting there and just. A tear might call out because it can be either way, remembering of old love. Well, you never cry.
I do cry, but that's not gonna.
But anyway, Layla, shout out to you, girl.
Very
good job. We'd
good.
like to hear some more. Yeah. Hey, Layla, you're listening in. I'm sure you are. Write something for us for Pace. Pace, the face of Pace. You all, what do you think about it? Hey,
It was
if you know anybody else that want to come in, new artistry, would like to promote a little bit,
Any
out
type
there,
of artistry.
any kind,
Mhm.
let us know. We'd be glad to do it. And it's free for now.
Yeah.
Just got to have your permission.
That's all we need.
That's all we need. All right. So, moment of silence for the people that's having some difficulty in time through, people, COVID is still out there.
Yes, it is.
Don't get it twisted. Okay. The mask mandate is over with, but COVID is still here.
It is still out
and
there.
it may not go anywhere. Okay. So wear your mask, y'all. Protect yourself and nothing else. The name of the song again is called Always Be Mine. Go on YouTube and just pull up Always Be Mine and type in, Ebony's going to type it in the artist that's singing it. But my friend Layla wrote it. Layla Jackson, good writer. Still want that piece. Write a song for us. But anyway, so for those, we have, my sister, my niece, she came down with COVID, but she's doing a lot better. And she's had all her shots and boosters. So don't get it twisted, y'all. Please, 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 please be safe. Wear your mask when you can to protect you, if nothing else. Okay. And stay prayed up. Take your vitamins. Do whatever you need to do. Because whether you've been vaccinated or not, you can still get it. Okay. You can still get it. All right. So let's do a moment of silence for anybody that's going through some hard times. Lost loved ones, all of that. Okay. Bow your heads. All righty then. Right. So,
did you know?
Okay.
Moment for a did you know moment.
Here we go.
Did you? Don't be looking like this, Spencer, because I see.
Me and Spencer already like, okay, here we go.
Did you know that grapes catch on fire if you put them in the microwave?
Well, what you putting them in the microwave for in the first place?
Sometimes it might be a little cold on your tea. And
don't put the grapes in the refrigerator.
You don't want to sit them out. You're supposed to put them in the refrigerator, I thought. But it'll catch fire. And the reason why it would catch fire, because they said that
pray tell,
it's a result of the loose electrons and ions that cluster to form the plasma when grapes get hot. And then they catch fire if you put it in the microwave.
Electrons and ions, so that's what we eat.
Let me tell you, it's been something, if y'all haven't seen it, it's been floating around on Instagram. They're using Sprite, a Gatorade, and those Mentos candies. They putting them in the container and then they mix it all together. And when they drop the Mentos in there, it shoots up to I don't know, it's just like a little pool of colorful stuff.
That's what you put in your body?
I don't know what's in that.
That's why I don't drink Sprite. I definitely don't do Mentos.
So
and what's the other one?
It's I think it's Gatorade or Powerade.
I don't drink
but it's one of those juices. It is. It's amazing what the food that we put in our body can do when they mix it with something outside.
I know.
Edible stuff.
I know one thing that made me stop eating a hot sauce.
What?
When they use that to clean off a battery.
Oh, really?
And a penny.
Yeah. No.
And I went from Coca-Cola to Pepsi.
I think it's the copper on the penny, maybe.
And I'm not promoting either one of them, but I tell you what, Pepsi don't clean battery cables like Coca-Cola do.
It don't. Coca-Cola do it. But you putting that in your
body.
But
you drinking it. Y'all better watch. Look, hey.
That's something to pay attention to. Seriously. Those hot Cheetos. And I love those hot Cheetos. But it's something that's in it.
Y'all better watch what you eat.
It's something. So we're gonna get off of what we're talking about. We finna get ready now for the time to hear.
Is that all you got about the grapes?
That's it.
Okay, that was
a scientist had did it. I mean, back in 2011, it was a physics of University of Sydney.
And
he did it. He put the grapes in the microwave and it caught fire.
And
what else you want? You want grapes to do something else?
Talked about the CDC COVID and he got because he was a scientist. Don't mean that.
The whole thing is a did you know segment though.
Oh,
it's not about COVID.
Oh,
what just happened?
But the grapes, you know what? You be eating that stuff when you drink wine, because don't they use grapes to make wine?
I drink alcohol.
Pray tell. Anyway.
We won't talk no more.
Anyway, let's get ready. It's time to hear some words of wisdom as he shared his tidbits on Women's History Year. We missed him last week because we was off.
Yes, we did.
But he's back.
The motivational.
The articulate.
the diabolical,
the awesome
the greatest, Mr.
Spencer Croft in the house. Hey, Spencer.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Listen, listen. I done lost. I can't hear you, Ebony. I can't hear y'all at all right now. But I hope you can hear me. I hope everybody can hear me. Just nod your head if you can hear me. Good deal, because I can't hear you at all now
Hey,
when you clicked
Spencer.
over. But anyway, let's do this right here because of the fact that like Adam and Eve. I don't think it was anybody before them. But hey, listen, I got a question about the dinosaurs and cavemen too. Where they come from. But anyway, it's all of that is kind of wild to me. All of that is kind of wild to me. And Ebony, when you talk about deja vu, is that part of being reincarnated? That has something.
No.
Yeah, being reincarnated. Hey, listen. Okay. I can't hear you, but I see you. Listen, y'all. We're gonna continue to do this thing, y'all. We're talking about the women. They were doing their thing all the time, y'all, and we're gonna continue to talk about them. We're gonna continue to talk about them because they was just so great. And this week, y'all, we're gonna talk about Sojourner Truth. Y'all heard the name before. Sojourner Truth is one of the most inspirational black women in America's history. And her words belong to the one of the most famous speeches by any woman. Listen to me, y'all. An African American abolitionist and women's rights activist. Truth delivered a now famous speech at the Ohio Women's Rights Convention in Akron. That was in 1851, that has come to be known as Ain't I a Woman? Truth was separated from her family at the age of 9 and was subsequently sold for auction as a slave along with a flock of sheep for, check this out, $100. Now in 1829, Truth escaped the freedom. She escaped the freedom with her infant daughter, Sophia, but her other 2 children had to be left behind. Truth began to advocate for the rights of women and African Americans in the late 1840s and was known for giving passionate speeches about women's rights, prison reform, and universal suffrage. Truth, who died in Michigan in 1883, is known as one of the foremost leaders of the abolition movement and one of the earliest advocates for women's rights. Y'all, make sure y'all give it up. Give it up for Sojourner Truth. She did her thing. Everything, y'all, back then it seems like you want to know how did they do it. My whole thing is we should never, ever, come to the conclusion that difficult is impossible. You understand what I'm saying? So, we can have anything and do anything we want to. We just got to want to do it. Hey, listen, thank you so much for your time this time. And until the next time, I hope it's better than the last. And as my dad would always say, you're never out of business when you mind your own. This is your boy Croft on Radio Connection with Pace, where it all comes together. All right,
Spencer.
Let's do it.
Thank you, Spencer.
So that was real enlightening. And also, let me make a correction. I've just been enlightened by something that's even more delightful.
What's that?
Because the song that we played of my friend, Layla Jackson, that's her singing.
Oh, it's her singing.
Yes,
so
and I got it wrong.
Person. That's her
That's
singing
her
name?
Probably, because like I got Gia Pat.
Oh,
her stage name.
Well,
maybe.
good job.
Hey,
Good job.
I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
We're going to need you to do one of our songs. We're doing a photo shoot the weekend.
Yeah, we're doing a photo shoot, y'all.
For Pace.
Yeah.
And we would like to have one of your songs playing in the background.
Yeah, so we'll talk with you offline about it, and help promote you a little bit. But y'all, again, that song, Always Be Mine, beautiful song, written by Layla Jackson and performed by Cone Pia, who is Layla
Michael
Jackson.
Jackson.
It's her all in one.
Oh wow, that is great. And she's on the radio, so you can speak
She's
to her,
on
right?
chat if you want to talk with her or anything like that. She's on the chat and
Let her know her song is great.
yeah,
It's nice.
yeah.
It's really nice.
Very nice. I like it.
It is. It's really nice. And I don't like a lot of different music. Like I said, I just like nostalgic, calm.
That old Wayne Dang Dang country. You a country music lover? Huh?
I like that too.
See,
Oh yeah.
I like it all.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it because you can hear what they're saying. I like to understand
like
what they're
rap.
saying. I don't want to have to guess what you're saying.
But some rap because my brother does a rap.
I like
I
Lil
got
Wayne
you know.
rap because I love the whole thing about the spaghetti moving in silence. I just like it. I like some of the stuff. Anyway,
All the song I like, I love LL Cool J.
yeah.
Mama gonna knock you out. And I like one song 50 Cent did, the first one.
Oh, I like 50 Cent too.
To the club or something like that.
I like them movie things.
No, I don't like all that.
I like it. I do certain things. I do certain.
You down
but
with OPP? I like that one.
certain rap.
There's certain things I like.
But this
And
new
Cool
stuff-
Mo D,
Yeah.
Sugar Hill Gang.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
We don't have to do a
Yeah, we gotta do a battle with. Yeah, we gotta
before
do
the
one.
summer's over with.
So you guys chat in to us. You want us
Yeah.
to hear a battle against something like that? That'd be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, do it. Okay.
For June today, June 12th, today is Pecan Pie Day. Today is also Eat Your Jello Day. Today is National Simplicity Day.
What does that mean?
It's in honor of a Henry David Thoreau. The day advocates a life of simplicity and recognizes the life of Thoreau.
Okay, so
Have a simple
who is
life.
he?
Remember how a long time ago I said just make things simple?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a simple life. All a whole bunch of stuff and
Here we go.
you know, okay, I ain't gonna go into it. I ain't gonna do no okay, whatever. The month of July, however, is Blueberry Month, Baked Bean Month, Hot Dog Month, Culinary Arts Month, Barbecue Month, Boredom Month.
Yes,
So try not to get bored.
I'm bored already.
Get active, clean, learn, cook, get social, volunteer. That's some ways to stay
Okay.
out of boredom. The entire month of July celebrates the National Contract Sewing Month. So you can sew. I like to sew.
I
You don't sew?
Mm-mm.
You a grandmother, you don't sew, you
No.
don't cook,
Whoa,
you
whoa,
don't
whoa,
bake.
whoa.
Wait a minute.
minute. Hold up.
Yes.
Just because you call yourself
No.
grandmother.
Mm-mm. You don't call yourself grandmother?
No.
What you call yourself?
Nana,
I ain't gonna tell you what that sounds like.
mama,
I ain't gonna tell you what that one sounds like either.
I ain't doing no sewing.
Why not?
I got time to sit there. Nah,
But you crochet, you knit.
I crochet and I cross
Now see,
stitch.
that's what I don't.
That's
do.
a whole total different thing than sitting
That
there
I don't do.
sewing.
Sewing is.
I tried to put
You
the
know
pattern. You know what? That ain't.
I don't go by patterns. I just go by eyes.
Oh, see, you just
I don't
got the gift.
No, I can't read the.
But you know
patterns.
what? Speaking of simplicity, didn't they used to have
They
some
have a
patterns?
simplicity. Yeah, pattern company.
Wasn't
They
simple
still.
for me.
I don't know how to read the patterns. I took home ec classes. I can't, but if you show me the picture, I can make it. But I can't read the pattern. It's too much for me. I'll use the picture to cut out to cut the stuff out, but I'm not going to read the pattern. I can't do it.
Let me 70. What is that? That's my baby. Who you talking about? Which one?
I forgot what song we were talking about. Music.
They said that's my baby.
Yeah, I'm not sure who we were talking about. We were talking
LL
about,
Cool J with the lips licking.
You know what? She's gonna make this show a whole nother thing. I don't want no parts of it.
It's the vitamin B12, y'all.
It's
Blame it on
something.
VA.
It's something.
Okay.
She's gonna go somewhere else.
Okay.
Again, the views and opinions of Gina Pegnata
It's my views of the pigeons.
are hers.
Not the pigeons.
She came here to own it. So let's talk about the city.
Okay.
First, they still have the basketball thing going on. They
Yeah.
have a couple of things going on. If you haven't
We said
checked
we
your
were gonna
emails,
go. Why we don't never go?
we didn't go because we was out that whole day with something else with the city.
Yeah.
We're doing enough.
We do a
So
lot.
anyway, the city is also doing, check your emails for your retirement stuff. They've been sending a lot of that information out. Get involved with that. Homeowners programs. They have HR has been sending out for, oh, you know what? The grievance process.
Oh yeah, they
So
let me say this. Thank you, City of Atlanta,
Thank you.
for adopting
Thank you.
PACE recommendation for grievance process to be vetted and mandatory for training for managers and supervisors. We did that.
I saw the email from HR when they said that they sent it out. And have your department received them?
Yeah, I got mine. I just hadn't taken it yet. It's a deadline, you know.
Your department received what?
Well, the grievance, well, it came from the City of Atlanta, I guess. I mean, I got it, and I was supposed to do it by a certain date. To all managers and supervisors, it's a training. Your training modules in oral. So everybody, every manager and supervisor should have it because there's a deadline to it. I wasn't aware it's going to be just certain departments to get it. It's supposed to be for everybody. You didn't get it? Hello. Okay, crickets.
Well, I got something to state that it's forthcoming that we have to take it, but
you should already have it.
If it's in our chronos, then we should check our chronos and it'll be
Oracle.
Our own Oracle.
Yeah, you should already have it because it's a deadline, but I think it's like got some time, but they should have sent that out. I thought it was sent out by the whole City of Atlanta.
It should come from HR, right?
It should.
It came from HR. So I just had it because there was some notes from a meeting and they said that it was something that we have to do, but no link or anything like that. So I don't know.
Well, we need to follow up with that. I'll find out why certain departments are, if everybody got it. I mean, we got it. I would think everybody got it. Public Works is a wonderful department, but I don't think that we're that privileged just to get stuff that nobody else gets.
Yeah, I don't know. So hopefully it'll be coming out before. When is the deadline?
I think I saw something like August 18th, if I'm not mistaken. You got time, but still.
Okay. Because I know usually when they do send stuff, they would send it and it'll be a link. You can just click on the link and it takes you right to whatever it is. So we'll see. We'll see. But as of yet, I know of it and I know from the email from HR, but we have not received it.
You know, you got a job fair. Wait a minute.
Yes,
I may
they
be
have
getting
a
the
job
date
fair.
mixed up.
They do have a job fair.
So I'm not sure when the deadline is for the grievance because I just double checked. The job fair is August the 18th.
That's with the HR.
From 10 to 2. So you guys know anybody want to work for the City of Atlanta, you ought to go out there and I wish they could hire you on the spot, but our hiring process is so crazy, but we're going to try to get that shortened down.
Because we need, every department is short. Every department is short. So speaking of short, departments being short employees and people need to be hired, let's discuss retention.
Okay, see right here.
How do you do what?
I just found it. DHR citywide.
I don't have that though.
It only went to 64 people.
So yeah, I didn't receive it.
Well, we probably got it because I got it because of union affiliation, but
or he sent it just to us on the side, remember, but let me see who. Okay, so it went to our training department.
Oh,
that's the person.
And then someone must have forwarded from our department to us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we guess it's due by August 1. Y'all should get this though. So I had this last week.
Yeah.
Somebody need to get in that training department. Y'all need to go on and forward that stuff on over now. What's the problem?
No. So retention. Let's discuss retention.
She said, I got it and I'm in fire. It's in your learning module in Oracle. Thank you.
I'm going to look into the module. I just thought it was going to be an email like when you asked me.
Yeah, well, if you hadn't seen it in the email, you wouldn't know.
No, I wouldn't have. No, unless the email. I don't
know. Need to be on top of their game. I ain't saying nothing allegedly.
I don't know.
So retention within the City of Atlanta. You guys give me some ideas because we're stumped on this.
Who's the commissioner to ATL dot? Who's the commissioner of ATL DOT?
I don't know. You know, that person resigned. I don't know who they put in there right now.
Okay.
But anyway, how do we retain employees? We have a lot of turnover, and we thought at one time, and it still is at E911, but I'm finding that we're getting a lot of employees leaving. Some employees are leaving and don't even have a job that they're going to. They're just leaving. They're just tired. And I don't know if HR is doing a exit interview or I don't know what they're doing.
I
But
know that since COVID, a lot of people have put a lot of life in perspective. COVID has put life in perspective for a lot of employees. Now they're more focused on time and life and the value
and money.
and money. But then if they're quitting without a job, you really focus on money. You just
Can
care about
be.
living a better life, better quality of life. Less stress. We just lost a supervisor. We just lost a supervisor.
Well, you mean don't say lost.
Not lost like death. Nowadays, I'm sorry. No, just better quality of life. The job that, within public safety, period, it's a stressful job. It's a stressful job. And then if you don't see, we've been getting a lot of complaints here lately, that they haven't been seeing a lot of change that they want to see. And so it's discouraging, it's disheartening. And so they leave. And that's throughout the city, period, not just in one department, it's throughout the city. It is citywide. And what we're finding is that leaderships, those that are in leadership, control pretty much everything. You control whether your department is good, you control whether your department is not so good. And if your leadership is tainted or not up to par, if that top tier is not the best top tier that you need to have, then the bottom of it is going to be the same. It's just going to trickle down. That's just how it is. Why are you so quiet and looking like that?
Because I want to say something, but I don't know if I want to say it.
Oh.
Employees don't like the city anymore. And it's the employees who have the knowledge walking out of the door and taking their knowledge with them. Leadership is tainted.
That's true. That is true. And what's happening now is they're taking it out on the union. I don't know about the other union, but I know a lot of these employees are taking it out on PACE. And they're saying, hey, our leadership is still this. We can't control leadership. PACE does not control leadership. PACE job is to work for the betterment of the employees. Now, what we can do is what we've been doing, going to city council, taking them the issues, hoping that they can make those changes. They have to get with the leadership teams and the different department heads and make those changes. All we can do is bring it to them and show this is what's going on. And what I've noticed with a lot of departments is they like to do a lot of deflection, right? They like President Trump. I think we brought this up last time. So these issues are going on. You have some problems doing X, Y, and Z, but we're gonna bring this side on right here to kind of deflect from what's really going on. And employees, people, simple-minded, not saying that in a negative way, but some people, it just don't take much to get you to focus on something else. It don't take too much. If I'm showing you favoritism to do X, Y, Z, okay, well, this is what you want to do. Well, I'm gonna look out for you to do this. They're going to shut that employee up. We got to be a little smarter than that. We got to think fast because they thinking fast on their end.
Right.
So regardless of the good stuff that they're doing, it's still just covering up the bad things, the reality of what's really going on. Because at the end of the day, what's really changed outside of them pulling you to the side and showing you favoritism? What is still changing? And that's what the employees are saying now within different departments. They're doing this, they're covering them up, making it appear to be happy-go-lucky. But we still not getting the changes what we need. The practices they're still practicing the same policy and procedures that are wrong. They're still doing that in all the departments.
So after all that you said, the bottom line is the union can only speak as much power as we can. We're doing everything that we can. We ask that the members be patient. And I know that word is hard to swallow, patient. But be careful jumping on the other side or jumping out there on that bandwagon, because at the end of the day, you don't have nobody but you. Yeah, you can quit and all of that, but why give up all of your seniority when you don't have to? Things will show up, and we went to a new mayor. We have good relationships that we have built with DHR, some of the departments. Now, individually, your issues may not seem to be getting handled right then and there, but the rules of engagement have changed over the years.
Yes, they have.
And so we used to can move you out quick, just like that, put you in another department, da, 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 da. But there's so much politics going on, in my opinion, that's going on, and we don't know where it's coming from. And so as soon as we get these leaders, the great, good leaders that want to make this city the best it can be or better than it has been, we got to weed out. And it takes time weeding
It takes
out.
time because we don't know where that weed is.
Because we don't know who's belonging to who and who's watching who and who's saving who.
I had an employee to reach out and say, I checked on them because I hadn't heard anything. And so this employee said, well, my last couple of issues hadn't been resolved. I said, well, how were Pace supposed to know your issues wasn't resolved? We hadn't received anything else. We hadn't had any more communications from you. Well, I just figured because when I talked to leadership, this is what was said, and this is how many more times?
I'm tired of telling you don't talk to leadership without your union rep.
It's not, because they're going to tell you what they want to tell you at the end of the day. And you can't fault Pace for not knowing. You cannot fault Pace for not knowing.
And then if you do let us know and we have a plan of action, it may take a little longer than you want. And like I hear here on the chat, they always cover up everything that is what the city does, so why stay? But let me say this. You stay because of what you need out of the city for you. We're not here to make this city great. That's what you got leaders and accountability for, to deal with the politics. We're here to do a job and to get paid to do that job. Now, if you get tired of doing that job, that's a different story. But now, if this person is doing ugliness to you, we have told you all over and over again, bring us some evidence. Documentation.
As much as possible.
They got Radio Shack or Circuit City or whatever it is. They got the little pens that you can record. You can record on your phone. You can do that.
And I know it's tiresome. I know
you can do that. But we need, other than he said, she said, we will fight for you still, but that will help us with your case. And stop talking to these leaders. You have the right to stop a meeting. Do not be afraid. You have a right to stop a meeting and say, I need my union rep.
Now, that's another good thing the HR has done. They sent out that email about making sure that the employees have been afforded union representation.
Yes. Yes.
You have that. I don't, and sometimes I know how they can talk real fast, and before you know it, you in there signing paperwork. Because remember, they got me like that a long time ago.
Y'all don't sign your name. Listen, and I said this before. If you're going into your own personal life or going into a courtroom or going to wherever, and somebody throw a paper and tell you to sign it, you ain't going to sign that paper without asking what it is. Come on, be real. So why do it in the city? Because that's your supervisor. And you don't have to sign nothing because they throw it in your face. You say, look, I'm not signing this. I'm not comfortable with it. I need my union rep. They tell you don't need a union rep. Well, I'm sorry. We won't talk. Have a further conversation. Step out of that room and make a phone call or text. And there's nothing they can do to you. Period. The city recognizes rights to representation.
That's it.
So how do we retain people? Say we don't have enough money. How do we retain?
The city.
Let's see, but
let's say
Ebony allegedly said the city got a lot of money. Allegedly, the city got a lot of money.
If you go to council meetings and all that, you see all this money coming from everywhere else. So what are good ways that employers can retain employees?
Good employees.
Good employees and good employers. One thing is be inclusive. Keep them included in certain things. Listen to these people. Your people that work the floor, you supervise. You listen to the employees work, because you might not work with Tom and Jim personally as these two would. You just doing the supervision part. So if they telling you that this person here is lazy, he don't really work, but you're going to promote him, then guess what that does? That brings hostility between them three people, because they know that this is a lazy person that she just promoted him to a position that he shouldn't be in. So talk to him, have feedback.
Right.
It's okay.
But the thing is, we need to get with HR. That's another part that we got to come up, since they did the grievance for us, and we got that right. We got to go on and finish with the evaluation situation.
Yes.
And the hiring good hiring process.
Yes, we definitely.
I think a lot of these hiring interviews should be with people. HR should be at the table and someone that knows how to interview, but not necessarily part of that function, so that they can get the real character of that person. Look at what's going on. Get back to the basic rules that the city put out, how you can be promoted, who can't be promoted, and quit doing all of these promotions because you're my friend. You know, but we need to retain the good people that we have.
Incentives. I got a text saying incentives for quality work. The morale has dropped. They said wait for the new fiscal year. Now leadership is saying we don't have the money.
We never got the money according to them. So we can find some money. So, you know, it is what it is. But let me say this. Do not get discouraged with the union. Please.
Yeah, it's not the union is not your employer. We just maintain and try to build great working relationships.
So we can get what we want.
When we have department heads that refuse to work with the union, it's hard to bring change or to not look combative, because now that's what they do. They make it look like the union is being combative with the leadership, and that's not what it is. The leadership is not budging, and so it looks like it's a combative situation, and so it flips and makes the employees confused as to who do they listen to, what do they turn, because look like y'all fighting. That's
what we're not.
And
and unfortunately, they think I'm always combative, you know. But I'm passionate, is the word you want to use. I just know when you're blowing smoke before you open your mouth, and I'm too old for that. I don't have time for in simplicity. I don't have time for bull crap. I just be straightforward, you know. That's what I'm about. And I'm gonna call you out on it.
And I'm a little different. I'll call you out a different way. I'm not like Gina. So I'm a little more laid back.
Yang.
Yeah, I'm a little more laid back and let you walk into your BS. And you're gonna smell it before I smell it. When you smell it, you're gonna look at me because you already know I smelled it first. I smelled it.
I smelled it when you walked in the room.
She gonna smell it when you walk in the room and call you out. I'm gonna wait to call you. I don't have to call you out. You're gonna call yourself out. That's just how that is. For me, that's me. That's my thing.
But together, we get things done. But we working, you guys. You all, with this podcast, you all just don't know. Even outside of this podcast, I still have my job to do outside of the union. And Ebony and I have to go to the meetings. We're going to do a video shoot Saturday mornings. We working on Saturdays and Sundays at night.
Every day.
We're working.
I had to miss a meeting today. We had a meeting at work, but I have some things that's, like I said, that's going on that I couldn't go there. So it's always going to be some kind of meeting, but this was for my job on my off day though, which, you know.
Yeah, well,
anyway,
I wouldn't be going nowhere on my own day, but anyway.
So yeah,
you tell me I'm off, I'm off. Don't be telling me come to no meeting. Oh, anyway, that's just me. See, two different people.
Yeah, two different people.
See, she'll handle it diplomatically. I'm like, not. Is this my off day? And you got what going on? Oh, well, see you tomorrow.
How to retain employees.
Oh, okay.
Pay attention to feedback.
Okay.
That's another thing. Pay attention to feedback. We did our surveys. When we did our surveys for one department, the leadership called us for a meeting. Wanted to go over what the feedback from the survey was. We went over that. She made some changes. Remember?
Yeah,
that was great.
I remember.
And then we went to another department, did it, and it didn't go over so well. But it's like criticism. How well do you take credit? I don't like people to criticize me. However, I'm not perfect. So if somebody tells me that it's something I need to work on, it ain't gonna be nice, but I know that I need to work on some things anyway. Because I don't know everything. You don't know everything.
Because when we had lunch that time, y'all, you know, I guess, and you told me, well, you told me in front of my guest that when I eat, I be making noises. That's criticism.
If you ever heard Gina eat.
But I'm like, I wasn't aware I was making noises.
Oh my gosh.
So how do I be silent?
And then she dances. I'm okay with the dancing, but when you in a business meeting,
all that. Do I be smacking?
Gina. And then you'll talk with your food be falling out of mouth and she
Oh, now you exaggerate.
don't let her get excited.
Oh, you exaggerate. Oh, you need to stop.
Don't let her get excited.
I do not talk with
Oh
food.
my
I do
God.
like this. If I do have food that says I do like this. I do that. But now if the food good, I do be rocking.
She be rocking.
Mm.
She be rocking.
But I didn't know that until they told me.
See?
And she said it kind of irritates her. So now I have to be mindful.
Not bad irritate though. She's
But
gonna
still,
make
you
it like
mentioned
I'm just a mean person. Now you
Duh.
I'm not a mean person. I was just saying.
But I just have to be mindful. See, you all understand, and she didn't know that until I told her today.
What?
That I have my 2 teeth right here missing. This your chewing
Exactly.
teeth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is what right here.
So that's
These
where
2
her
right here.
extra.
So I have to
message
chew
comes
it.
from.
Yeah, I have to. You know, I'm supposed to go get the what you call it, implants. I don't want it. So I just chew at the front. I tell you, somebody else I noticed. My opinion. Candy Burris. She chews a lot with her at the front of her mouth.
Really?
And I'm wondering if that's because she
And I
has
watch
issues.
teeth. I just watch teeth.
You know, she,
I'm a
you know,
teeth watcher.
she
Probably
do like
be.
them.
It might
And
be.
I know somebody else that do that too. So I'm wondering if it's because I do
It
that.
might be.
But you know, as long as you get it chewed up, because if I don't, I would swallow it more than I chew it, and then I would get indigestion.
She gonna get an indigestion whether she chew it, swallow it.
Oh, wait a minute. Since she want to bust somebody out, that one. I mean, good Lord, I had to stop before we came on podcast. I said, "You gonna do that on the show?"
And then she did it.
Sound like a dog.
Anyway. Focus on work-life balance. That's huge. And that's what COVID has done for these people that are quitting jobs. They're realizing that the work is 75 to 80% of their work-life balance. That's not a balance. The work is overloaded into their personal lives. So people are realizing that life happens and life is going to come first. Family first and everything else second.
But
that's not what's going on here.
Don't just jump your job.
Please don't jump.
You know, right now, anyway, stay where you're a little secure. Let us help you get through the hard, tumultuous times with your leadership. You know, even though it may take a while, but there's some work that we have to do to help you, and you got to do. If you want out of that situation, we got to talk about where you can go. Just get out completely.
And think about the past. Always, every time when you put up against any type of situation, always think about, because most of the time you've been in this position before, right? Most of the time we've been right at this same spot before. Think about what happened before, previously, and how you was able to make it through that particular situation. So it's still, you know, life is not going to be easy for anybody. It's not going to be easy for you. Everybody's not going to wake up happy every single day. That's not life.
I sure don't.
And you're not going to wake up and love your job every single day. That's not life.
Some days I dread getting up going in.
So just bear with
I love my job, but it's just some things sometimes is just beat you down. See, I got a person leaving too.
Yeah, we all every
it's a
department
sweet. It's like
every department.
This is my loyal employee. Been with me first time with the city. Been with me almost 15 years, and he just
it is a merry-go-round, Tamara. It is. It's a merry.
Yeah.
You just and it's a seesaw. You go up and you go down. Sometimes you might be longer down than you might be longer up. Sometimes you might be longer up than you might be down. It's just always going to be something as long as you're living.
I like that.
So that's the good thing.
That brings a song to my mind. Your love is like a seesaw, baby. Your love is like a seesaw.
Retaining employees.
Down,
again,
all around.
Empower autonomy. You know what that is?
No. Empower what?
Empower. Give the employees freedom to work without the pressure of you micromanaging. Yeah. Stop micromanaging. I pay attention. Sometimes it happens so frequently you don't really pay attention until you have to kind of get out of the circle to pay attention. I was reading on a piece of paper. It stated on a particular department. It tells you on certain days when you are working certain positions, this is what you need to do. That is not giving the employee the freedom to do what they can do, because you're telling them when to do this. Now, I understand we have deadlines and time frames, Well, they can do that when they're free to do it anytime, not just when you say, when you work in this position here, do that. At any point in time, you got to trust that they're going to be able to do the work and perform the duties that you hired them to perform.
Right.
You got to
let them manage
let
the
them
time.
manage it.
Give
Yeah,
them the project. Let them
that's
manage
not
the time.
leading. That's managing.
So Spencer, can he hear us?
He can.
Okay. Do you have anything to say on any of this? On some thoughts as a city employee yourself?
Well, I don't know. Again, every time when she clicked me, Ebony, when you click me on, I can't hear y'all at all anymore. But like I was saying that, it's a lot of things, and I think what's happening is because I went to the fiscal year event last week. Okay,
Oh,
that was at City Hall, and at
Mhm.
one time, I was able to go inside the atrium and speak to everybody. Everybody knew me. I knew everybody.
mhm.
But, I went in there and hardly knew anybody. So I think what's happening is maybe there's a new, if you will, city of Atlanta is coming in, and people are bringing other people in, so they can grow that way. Because there's no reason to not have incentives and everything for quality people that are working, that are making the city happen. Now, one thing I really don't agree with what you said earlier, Gina, was I am trying to assist in making the city great. I am. I want to assist who's ever trying to make the city great, because I am. When I'm out there, I represent the city of Atlanta. Whatever I'm doing, me being in construction inspector, engineer, that's what I do. And, I want to make sure I do the best that I can. Now, while I'm out there doing the best that I can, please just don't, leadership, I'm talking to leadership, don't step on me and saying, and pat me on the head and say, okay, yeah, you're doing okay, you're doing good, keep up the good work, and not reward me. So, I mean, that's exactly what I'm saying. And then back to what y'all was saying. Yeah, a lot of leadership think just like Trump used to think, because Trump depended on uneducated voters not to say nothing, just believe what he said and move on. So, I mean, I mean, how you keep them, you got to reward them. You got to let them know that they are appreciated. You got to. You got to, especially if they have longevity, if they've been with you a while and they've been doing their thing, you got to let them know that, I mean, they appreciate it.
Mhm.
You got to.
Spencer, I'm gonna put them back out so you
Yeah.
can hear us.
So, and I appreciate you saying you corrected me on that. And let me correct me on that. When I mean you doing a great job, your leaders are the one that's held accountable for how we function in their departments.
Mhm.
And it's to what you're exactly saying. If you're not commending people that's trying to do the goodwill of the city for
Mhm.
what you paid to do on your job, it is the leader's accountability.
It is.
Because you got people that may not be strong-willed and strong-minded to continue to give all of their 120%. And then when they keep getting browbeated down and micromanaged and distrusted and talked to any kind of way, they just give up hope. They don't want to stay. They're ready to go and they shut down. So you are 100% correct. It is also their accountability, the leaders, to empower the employees and to pay them for what they're worth, whether it's monetary or whether it is giving them accolades.
Mhm.
I mean, look at what we're going through right now. We don't get no accolades. We were the one that came up about the grievance situation, and the city adopted it and decided to do the training. Pace was the one that came up with that idea. Do you think they said, thank you, Pace, for bringing this to our attention and doing that? Do you ever hear that Pace get recognized for anything that we bring before the city of Atlanta? A lot of them that works for the city, I mean, that's the leadership of the city, that, and we okay with that, because our goal is to represent the members, is to bring forth what we need to have done or won't change or won't create it. And if it gets done, whoever takes the credit, so be it. So we're doing the best we can for you. Now, someone said I'm offended by that statement. Mr. Moon, what statement are you offended by so we can
Which
clarify?
one? Yeah.
We made a lot of statements. Which one?
And I like what Spencer just said when he said that they're thinking like Trump. They're going by uneducated. A lot of
that might be what he's talking about.
A lot of leadership don't believe in their employees. You are right. They don't. They don't think that we're smart enough. But a lot of these employees have master degrees, associates. What you got? Associates, bachelor's, and master degree. They have all these degrees behind them, and a lot of them are very articulate. Now, if you're hiring, and what we are seeing throughout the city, that you're hiring people that appears or come across uneducated, then that should fall on leadership, right? That falls on leadership because you hired that person. You had a conversation with them. You saw them in the interview process. You had a conversation to see how their dialect is, how their behavior, their body language, everything in that interview process. So if they get out there and embarrass you, that's a product of you. That's an extension of you, of what you brought to the table.
Well, let me make something clear on this podcast. That's why we don't talk politics. And we don't talk about religion or spirituality. As anything that is a disclaimer that we said in this podcast before, and as I said it verbally, that everything that we talk on this podcast is not necessarily the opinions and views of everybody, of this universe. It's our personal opinion. Mm-hmm. And if someone has an opinion that makes a statement, we will reel it back around. We're not here to allow anyone to offend anybody. And let me roll around on that when we speak about President Trump. At this point, whether or not, we don't know what his intentions was. We don't know what's in their heads, only what is alleged to be seen or heard or what we see. But back in the day, between retention and we talking about simplicity or how people feel or whatever, has nothing to do with voters. We've had presidents of all kinds. We had our first national Black president, and there were some things he did I wasn't too thrilled about or didn't do. So everyone has an opinion about certain people. So
and you're right. You have a right to your opinion.
You have a right to your opinion.
And what Spencer said was his opinion.
His opinion. So we apologize to you if you felt offended by any statement that's made because of your preferential political or religious aspects. But we're here on this podcast to bring light to the awareness and just to have a dialogue and chat, and hope we don't offend anyone. And if we do, we apologize.
It's not intentional.
Not intentional.
You can't think that it's intentional. You should know that it's not intentional. So
but let's bring that back around. Let's use this for an example. Okay, so now I'm getting ready to, you said, why I'm quiet. Now I just was waiting on somebody to get me light up, and that just lit me up. Okay, that statement that was made, that I'm offended by that statement. And then, why are y'all speaking about politics and religion? And that is not what he said. And then he says, I am out. So how can you have a professional dialogue or a conversation when a person spews out what they want to say and don't let us know what it is that you want to talk about? Or if you feel offended and then you out. This is the kind of thing, the dialogue that's happening in the city, where we don't get the chance to, like someone said,
go back and have a
dialogue versus a monologue. And so everybody has an opinion, but it's the professionalism for you to not take anything as what we call move out of your own way, and don't get offended. But you have a right to say what you have to say, but don't just tag in and then say I'm out because you're offended. And so we need to stop that. We all need to get together in the city of Atlanta. And this is what I'm talking about. Leaders will do that to you. And I'm trying to use this as an analogy. So stand your ground, stand strong.
If what Spencer said is what Spencer said, that's what Spencer said. It's okay for him to believe and feel and have his perception of what he feels. Just like me and Gina. She said something that I might not agree with. I'm not going to get mad at her. We can talk about it because we're adults. But again, that shows, like you said, the behavior citywide. It's not just with one person. It's citywide. And so if you're talking to your manager or your supervisor and they don't like something that you said, or vice versa, you don't like what, because I used to have a bad habit that I'm out. I used to, this conversation is over, it's nothing else to talk about. That was a very bad habit of mine. I apologize to those in the previous that I had to do that too. But it was just because you're tired of hearing the BS. You know what I'm saying? And this, you're not getting it, what I'm saying. But my way is how I see it. They seeing it a whole nother way. So let me see it your way. Help me to see what you see. And sometimes we might not ever agree on it, but that's fine. You have your way, I have mine.
And I want to say this too. Here's the thing. This radio podcast is for all of our members. Okay. And every member is not the same.
Not at all.
And so we're trying to reach out to all types of members, all spirituality, where we have our, talk to you about, when you lost loved ones, and we give a little moment of prayer, or, and then we have the songs that you might not like. But we've always asked everyone on this podcast, if you want to hear a song, if you want to hear or have something to be said, chat it in, text us, but don't be silent and then come and complain. And we're not here to talk about religion. Now, I said something today about Adam and Eve. It was really being a joke. And we're trying to, because someone did want to know that answer to that question. And so I put it out there in chat land, because this is what we're here for. This is for, as we always say, for fun, information sharing, to talk about certain things, not to get indulged with. We don't have political stands, and we don't have spiritual stands. But what I am going to do, because that's who I am as a local of this chapter here on this podcast that we created and doing, I am going to speak on a spiritual basis. I am going to pray for those who have lost loved ones and who are sick and unable to be there, because I've experienced, you've experienced, whomever. And if there's something that offends you, then the bottom line, I don't want to lose you, but you're not going to change the way we operate. Understand where I'm coming from. Did I say it?
You said it.
That's how I do when I get the bull crap out the room. We're here to love each other. We're here to support each other. And we don't mean to offend anybody. But what I will not tolerate is that you will not be a part of us, whether you agree or not. And let's dialogue.
That's it.
But I will not stop saying a spiritual song that we may want to play that someone wanted to come in. We play hip hop. We talk about everything. We talk about country. But if you got a song you want to hear on the next week, chat it in. We'll play it for you. We just do this to get you livened up, to have some hope for the week. That's the only reason this podcast, and share important news to you. Now, when the chatters are chatting in, again, we have a disclaimer. Those are not necessarily views of opinions of this podcast. But we all have to respect each other's opinion. And we do try not to get political, which we have not been so far.
We don't.
And we don't get spiritual. But we will
share.
We will share what's going on if you choose to be with your family members, anybody that's passed, and give a little spiritual help for your belief, regardless of who is to. So I'm hoping that I've given you the point of view of my opinion of this podcast that Ebony and I share with Spencer and the rest of the union members. Let's make this friendly going forward continue. And if there's something that we've done and said, call me or text me outside and let's talk about it, especially if you're a member. Because like they say, Steve Harvey, sometimes I repeat Steve Harvey, allegedly, you ain't got to tune in. You don't like what's going on, you ain't got to tune in.
Yeah, we don't get paid for it.
We don't get paid for it. This is something that we're bringing to you. It's your platform. So what we bring to you is what's being asked of us to discuss. Now, sometimes people may say some things while they're talking and may get out of hand. But if you're a part of this program that we got, more than just this podcast, come to meetings, listen in, look at the emails, you understand where we're coming from. We love you all. We want you to be with us. But help us, don't hurt us.
I had something, but it just left my mind.
Because it's, some people just have to understand. But anyway, look, I appreciate that song that
Yeah,
came
that
out
was nice. That was good.
by Layla Jackson. Beautiful rendition, beautiful writing, and beautiful singing. Thank you so much for allowing us to share your story, your music on our podcast. And I hope that some folks will go to the YouTube or Spotify and download it and listen to it and share the word. And hey, as we bring this session, this weekly to the end, we anticipate that we've been a beacon of hope to some, entertaining, and been able to shed light on all things in the city that you are listening to from us. We thank you for tuning in to Radio Connections with Pace, where it all comes together. And tune in next week as we continue to fight the good fight and be a part of bringing the good back to the city. You are welcome to share this episode of the City of Atlanta if you choose. And if you're not a subscriber already, what are you waiting for? Tell them, Evie.
Don't be left in the dark. Join Radio Connections with Pace, where it all comes together to stay up to date on all city news. If you are not a member, again, of this elite organization, PACE, Professional Association for City Employees, join now by sending us an electronic email. Send us an email for electronic application. Your member dues are $16 per pay period. That's $32 a month. It is the best $16 that you will ever spend. Trust me. Again, we need big numbers. We need numbers. We need more members to make numbers, to be the best union in the city that we can be. Again, we thank you for listening to Radio Connections with Pace, where it all comes together. And we'll see you guys
next week. Same time, same bat station.
Same time, same what?
Bat station.
Same bat station.
Vampire bat station. Remember? Duh.
I got it.
Morbus.
I got it. Tamara, we thank you for listening. All our other members out there, members that listen all the time, and Tamara is always listening. We thank you and we appreciate you a whole lot.
Share and spread the word.
Yes.
Bye, y'all.
Next week.
Be safe. Wear your mask.